Hi, this is Scott at Three Creeks Technologies, and today's short demo is going to be on creating digital experience calculator definitions and then deploying them on digital experiences pages. Everything I'm going to be going over today is also accessible in the AMCalc Configuration Administration Guide, which is downloadable from the AMCalc listing on the Salesforce App Exchange. All right, let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is go to our AMCalc administration tools and create a new digital experiences calculator definition. We already have one in there, and we're going to create a new one right now. We're going to name this one 10-year self-service calculator, and then we're going to mark it active so that it's available for us to deploy onto the web page. Next, we're going to select the loan type, and it's going to be a fixed payment loan. Then we're going to select the time periods that the loan is going to use, and we're going to select years. Next, we're going to select how the results of the calculation are going to be displayed to the user. I'm going to select display a single fixed payment amount. I'll show you how this looks to the user, and then I'll come back and change this to show all payments so that you can see how that works as well. All the remaining information is the information that the AMCalc engine needs to calculate a loan payment amount. And we can define the definition either so that the information is provided by default for the user or allowing the user to input the information themselves when they're using the calculator. First is loan amount, and this is going to be filled in by the person using the calculator. We're going to give it a default value of $100,000 and then put in an allowable range of $50,000 to $1 million. And since the user is going to be indicating how much of a loan they need, we're going to make this user editable, which automatically makes it display on the screen. Next is the interest rate that's going to be used in the calculation. And since we already have some centralized interest rates that we're managing through AMCalc, we're going to select one of those. We could also indicate a static interest rate here, but the centralized managed interest rate is better because it's more dynamic, and as it's being updated in the administration tool of AMCalc, it will be reflected on the Digital Experiences web page. We also want to display the interest rate to the user using the calculator, but we don't want them to have the ability to edit it, so I'm just going to click the display on screen. Next is the loan term. And we're going to also display that to the user, but we're not going to allow them to edit it because the interest rate is based on 10 years. Now we're going to input the payment frequency and the month and year convention. This information is needed by the AMCalc engine to calculate the payment amount, but we're not going to display it to the user. It will just be used in the background. Next is the loan start date, which is also needed by the AMCalc engine to calculate the payment. And we're just going to display that to the user, but not allow them to edit it. This last section is information that we need when we're collecting leads from this Digital Experiences calculator. When a prospect runs the calculator and then submits a contact form, AMCalc creates and saves the loan schedule based on the parameters of the calculator that was used. The Save Schedule Name field allows you to input merge fields so that the name of the schedule that's being saved is dynamically generated. Any schedules created from this calculator definition will have schedules saved with the prospect's first name and the calculator definition name in it. This way it's easy to identify when we see it in Salesforce. And then lastly, we're going to give a Save Schedule Status default of draft for any schedules created with this definition. And that's it for the definition. Let's save that, and then we'll go over to the Digital Experiences builder and deploy this calculator and see what it looks like. The builder for the Digital Experiences web pages is in Setup, and I'm just going to search for all sites and then select the builder for my site. The builder is a Salesforce tool that comes with Salesforce, and if you're not familiar with using it, I'll put some links in the description of this video to some of the Salesforce documentation. But just for a quick overview, the builder is a drag and drop tool that allows you to put themes on a web page, give it the functionality you want, and have it the look and feel that you want. We're going to use the builder to add the AMCalc Digital Experiences Calculator component to the page and to apply the definition that we just created a minute ago to that calculator. So to add the AMCalc component, we're going to open up the Components panel, and down at the bottom under Custom Components, we're going to drag the AMCalc calculator onto the page. The component will prompt us to add a definition to it, and we do that through the attribute panel that opens up on the right-hand side of the screen. So you can see that the definition that we just created is listed there, and we're going to select that. And as soon as we do, the calculator on the screen reflects the fields that we indicated in the definition that we wanted to display. And you can also see that the only input field is the loan amount field, which was the only field in the definition that we created that we said was editable. Going back to the attributes panel, you can see that there's a number of other fields up here. These all allow us to further customize the look and feel of the calculator for the user. They include things such as the button labels and titles on the screen and information that's displayed to the user when they run the calculator. To see exactly what each attribute does, just hover your mouse over the information icon next to the attribute for a full description. I'll make a few changes to some of these attributes, and you can see that as soon as I do, the edits are immediately reflected on the calculator on screen. Okay, let's go ahead and preview this calculator, and I just click the Show Payment Amount button to run the calculator and see the results. In the calculator's attribute panel, we said we were going to collect leads, so when I run the calculator, you can see that there's a Tell Me More button that I can click. That opens up the contact form that the prospect can fill out, and when they submit that, not only will their contact information be saved in Salesforce, but also the full loan schedule that the AMCalc engine generated when they click the Show Payment button. Okay, one last thing I want to do here is to make some changes to the 10-year definition that we created. So I'm going to go back to the calculator definition tool. Let's update the definition so that when the calculator is run, all payments are shown, not just a single payment. And now back to the builder and refresh it so that it pulls in the changes we just made to the definition. And again, we'll preview this calculator. And now you can see that all the payments are shown and not just the single payment. And then once again, we can click the Tell Me More button to open up the contact form. There are a few steps to go through to publish this web page and make it public so that prospects can actually use it. And all that information is in the Salesforce documentation, so I really encourage you to read that. So that's a quick overview of AMCalc Digital Experiences calculators. It's a great tool for prospecting and community outreach, and we encourage you to give it a try. Thanks for watching.